Check out.
Hold
Cory,
on.
it's not often that you get to see the slide down, pull up action on the mixer the way that I just did.
No, and you'll be able to see it on the video now, too.
Yeah. Because we're not in my living room.
Say what? I could have sworn.
Conspicuously less trees in my living room than we do right now.
I just figured you planted some new shrubbery in your living room.
Yeah. The old shrubbery wasn't doing the job, and so I had to put all new shrubbery. Yeah, we are...
Understandable.
Where are we? We are live from the Elks, number 2292 in Warren, Michigan, for their annual car show. And we're happy to be here. And I'm just looking out at the parking lot. I feel like they're all happy that we're here as well.
I agree. Everyone's applauding.
Yeah. Yeah, if only they all had mics. You'd hear the insatiable applause that we're getting. But hey, today you got Bob and Cory. Todd is taking some much-needed rest before he starts his new career, and he's taking some time off with his beautiful wife, Mary, to enjoy some alone time, some together time, before he starts that new career, which is really what you should do. You get a new job, you start a new career.
Is that what one does?
Yes. Yeah, you get about a week, maybe sometimes 2 time before you get to start that new job. And you just got to reconnect with family, friends, your house, your dogs, your peace before you're launched directly into the tornado.
I mean, I guess that's fair enough.
Yeah. So, thank you so much for joining us. Listen, if you're interested at all, you can find us anywhere out where you get a podcast. It doesn't really matter where. You can also find us on YouTube at Schnozzcast. Please go out there and you can watch or listen to any of our previous episodes. You can also email us at schnozzcast@gmail.com, or you can DM us on Instagram and send us a message and let us know if you want to hear some relationship advice from Todd Dillon, who's the best. That's what I heard. Anyway.
That's what Dr. Phil says.
Yes.
That Todd Dillon is the best.
Right. So, here we are, and we also have a sponsor for this week. This episode of the podcast is sponsored by Nabisco, makers of Oreo brand cookies. Everyone likes cream-filled delicious snacks like their double stuff, mega stuff, and golden mega stuff. But if you also like debasement, regret, and queasiness, Oreos have you covered. Flavors like candy corn, Neapolitan, watermelon, cotton candy, and limeade. Scrumptious flavors like SpongeBob, pumpkin spice, blueberry pie, Swedish fish, and reduced fat. Sink your teeth into mouth-watering Oreo flavors like Peeps, waffles and syrup, mystery flavor, hot chicken wing and wasabi, and Lady Gaga flavor. Just reference the code SCHNOZ at checkout to get 10% off your purchase. Oreo cookies. Why leave a good thing alone?
You know, Bob.
Yeah.
I like filling stuff with cream.
and that's how we get our in with Oreos. All right, so we could not be happier to be here. It really has been a little bit of time since we've done this show. Cory and his beautiful wife have had a much-needed vacation. Amazing vacation down in where?
Down in Siesta Key.
And
it was nice, buddy. It was nice.
Yeah, we missed you, but we knew that you were better off being alone and having a great time.
A little tough to come back to this overcast, kind of dreary Michigan weather, but
well,
it is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah.
We'll be moving down there shortly.
Relocating? Is this the last we'll see of you?
Against Danielle's wishes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So listen, we're here at the Elks, and they obviously have a DJ playing some pretty awesome tunes in the background, to be honest with you. So you're going to hear that in the background.
Yeah.
And so if you find yourself singing along, like, you can still listen to us and sing at the same time. Definitely do that. And get yourself a drink, because we are a drinking podcast.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
Well, I saw you drinking, and I'm like, oh, this is the time where we talk about drinking.
Even better, buddy.
Yes.
There you go.
We're not sponsored by it, but we've got Fireball on hand.
We should be by now. God damn, we've spent so much money on Fireball.
Yeah. How do you think what do we need to do to reach out to the Fireball people?
Just send them our YouTube link.
Yeah. There's 300 plus episodes of us drinking your shit proudly on air, despite despite all of our friends and family questioning why we're doing that at all. Like, there's so many other things you could drink. We're like, no, it must be Fireball.
Yeah, I don't know why we keep coming back. It's because we'll switch it up for a second, or I'll switch it up myself, and then you kind of tag along.
I'll go to Jackfire every now and again.
Yeah, but then we end up.
It's like a cruel mistress that
Fireball.
You're like, oh, she mistreats me so badly every time I see her, but I cannot look away. I must have it.
I love the hurt.
It hurts so bad, but I gotta have it.
What was the Wolf of Wall Street? What was the?
Oh,
Venice. Oh, baby.
Was her name Venice?
Yeah. Yeah, because then remember he said
when Margot Robbie like leaped out of bed and like poured water all over him.
And he's like, "Oh, baby," he's like, "Downey and I have a business dealing in Venice."
You're such a fucking liar, Jordan.
Yeah,
I can't do the bus today. You're such a fucking liar, Jordan.
That's pretty good.
All right.
Pretty good.
So I could do a Margot Robbie Boston accent. That's the kind of gems you're going to hear in the Schnozzcast, folks.
Now, if you could just look like Margot Robbie,
that would require an unbelievable amount of plastic surgery.
I'll tell you what, buddy.
Yeah.
I know my wife Danielle is sitting right there. So I'm not going to say this too loud.
Right.
But if you changed into Margot Robbie, Danielle,
I might be able to stop you from moving to Siesta Key.
Siesta Key Siesta Key would be no more, and Danielle and I would be no more. Right, babe?
I'm leaving you for your best friend who's got a sex change and now looks like a famous movie star.
She said she agrees.
Oh yeah,
that she would not blame me.
She knows she'd be better off.
She would
Think
not blame
of the
me.
hours in her life that she would save waiting for your ass to go to anything that you have scheduled.
Hold on, dude.
Do I need to bring her on the show to drive this point home?
You know she's not going to.
No, of course not. But
so I know I'm safe.
It was
there.
an empty threat, to be fair. Fuck. Oh, so this is going to be a little difficult. Just be patient because there's a lot of sunlight coming in, and I literally cannot see.
Oh yeah, the screen.
What the blank is. Hold on.
Hey, it's a new experience for both of us.
Here
buddy.
we go.
To be fair.
Dude, that was fucking difficult. I could not see. I still can't see. We almost need. So we're looking out at the parking lot at all these classic cars, one by one by one by one. You name it, from vintage Camaros to
old Chargers,
the Galaxy 500, old Chargers,
brand new Dodge Ram that's supercharged,
Dodge Astro minivans.
Which street?
Yeah,
Well, I can't remember his name.
the DJ.
The DJ. Yes. Yeah. C-Note Productions.
C-Note Productions. Yep, and he's got a niece.
Yes.
Niece named Ashley, who runs a Vibrant Vibes podcast, who's available on YouTube, and we were told to check it out. I was able to find it. Obviously, we're a little busy today, so I haven't had time to check it out yet. But,
no, we'll definitely both have to watch it. And then next
just
episode.
going by the recommendation of a random DJ that we just met today, I must recommend the Vibrant Vibes podcast with Ashley.
We'll check it out, and then we can give it a review on one of the next episodes.
Yeah. Hopefully the review is not, Jesus Christ, that podcast sucks.
I would hope not myself, Bob.
Yeah. Well, it's not often we give a shout out to a podcast we've never listened to.
Well, true, but we will listen to it, and I'm sure he said she makes. Is it the same niece that makes the mini pancakes?
Yeah,
and then loads them up with all
thousands and thousands of calories,
frosting and sprinkles, and
syrup and blueberries, etc.
I mean, I'm down for that.
Have you found in the history of us doing this podcast, which it's been many years now, have you found that there are a lot of people who have recommended you, but then when you're like, oh, you listen to the show, right? And they're like, no, I really haven't.
That I've talked to about our podcast?
Yeah. Who like are in our corner, supportive, But when you kind of press them like in a friendly way, you find out to your dismay that they've really never listened to the show. They're only doing it because they know you.
Support you.
Yeah, yeah.
No, not really.
No?
Most people that I've recommended the show to, that I talk to, on a regular basis, they've watched it, at least an episode or two, and other people, like Scott and Dylan, go back and watch all the time. So,
does Scott actually watch all the time?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay. I thought that was just barroom talk.
No, he actually likes it. I'm not saying every episode.
Yeah,
but he'll watch episodes.
Yeah, I think as a podcaster, when you get people who are like, no, I listen to every episode, it hits you in a way that is like someone, it's like someone from your childhood, like a girl telling you, I've always loved you. I've followed your every move, and I've always been in love with you, and I'm still in love with you. You beautiful bastard, you.
And why didn't you tell me this 15 years ago?
Well, we never asked, because we did not know.
Well, I get that. I'm just saying, why didn't the girl say something?
That's how girls are.
God
Should we talk about how girls are?
Goddamn women.
Let's make this the girls podcast. So yeah, there's a lot of really cool cars here. The rain has been kind of like a couple of little sprinkles. That's it. But otherwise, just an overcast day. And now we're looking at a fantastic Mustang GT, I assume.
Beautiful Mustang.
Yeah. 5.0 GT, all black.
Black on black on black.
Yeah. Yeah, some really amazing cars. And we were lucky enough to stop over there and talk to some of these folks on we made the rounds in the parking lot while we were waiting to start the show. And, uh-oh. Okay.
Just needs the keys.
Give me the keys. Peace out.
Better not. My wife just came to grab the keys for me to go to the car, and
yeah,
she oddly said, even though neither of us were like, oh, are you leaving? She very mysteriously said, don't worry, I'm not leaving, without being questioned. So now I kind of question if she's leaving or not.
How long have you guys been married now?
4 years.
4 years.
Yep. As of May 27th,
that's a pretty good bellwether for a 4-year relationship. Like, she really, at this point, should just come up to you and go, like, give me the fucking keys.
She basically did. Yeah.
No explanation. Like, I'm not going anywhere. I've been with you for 4 years. I put up with your bullshit for all of that time.
Today at the Elks Car Show.
I'm leaving in the middle of the
podcast.
While
we're podcasting, she decides, I'm done.
Not even to announce it, just to Irish exit the entire marriage.
She's taking my car. I'm going to go home. The coat on the door is going to be changed.
Yeah.
I have to walk. Well,
both the dogs are going to be gone.
You're going to have to drive me home.
Sure. Yeah. And there's just going to be a big note in the middle that she scrawled in blood. Fuck you, Cory.
Fuck you.
Yeah, that's how you know you've been together with someone for 4 years.
That's my wife.
Yeah. She's a tomcat, that one.
Oh, Bob, don't worry. She's just being a little rascal now.
She's such a rascal.
The fun and games she likes to play.
What the fuck was I saying? Yes. So there's a row of cars over here.
Sorry, back to the car show.
Yeah. We made the rounds, and we're talking to this group of 4 gentlemen who owned, I think each of them owned one of the cars. It was like they had like a launcher set up right behind the car that was theirs. And one gentleman we were talking to, his wife, God rest her soul, passed away.
Two of them.
2 of the guys and their wives.
One in 2023 and the other
in January of this year.
Yeah.
And they were instrumental in helping them to get these classic cars, which...
dude.
I'm like...
Bob, which, crazy enough, his name was... Well, one of the guys was Bob.
Yeah, which is a rare thing these days in 2025. Yeah.
But...
we're a dying breed, these Bobs.
He had mentioned how his wife... he was looking at the car, wanted to get it, kind of said, maybe not. Then when he went to go pull the trigger, the guy didn't want to sell. And then months later, the guy was like, I'll sell it. And he was like, well, it's kind of too late now. I don't want to spend the money. And his wife actually brokered the deal to get the car for him. and he said he came home and there was an envelope with the title and everything under his pillow.
Yeah, classy.
That she had bought the car.
What a class move.
And that was one of the last things that she did for him.
Yeah. Yeah, so hats off to those guys
Yeah.
and to their wives. But the guy who owned was it the Charger? The yellow car?
I know, it's Camaro.
Camaro?
Yeah.
Started it up for us.
Oh, dude. Holy shit.
All these cars are just sitting here. Obviously, a lot of them, the hoods are up and they're not running, but he was gracious enough to start the car, and it sounded like a dream.
It had that, like, that movie-esque, like, yeah, that just rumble to it.
That Vanishing Point, death-proof rumble to the car.
So
I'm listing some car movies now.
I get that. I was thinking more like the movie Cars from Disney. No. That was obviously a joke. It was
Smokey and the Bandit. I was listening.
It sounded absolutely insane.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I could have recorded that and probably fallen asleep to that noise.
Yeah. I wonder if you can't. You think you could? Okay, hold on. Hold on.
We're taking the mixer over there and we're gonna get it.
No. I'm asking, like, rather than falling asleep to like rain sounds on YouTube, like a 3-hour looped video, can you go onto YouTube and get like a looped video on YouTube of like a classic car idle?
We can find out right now.
That would be fucking amazing, because that might be what you're gonna do tonight.
It could be.
Yeah.
But you know my weird ASMR tics.
Yeah, but maybe you could overlay like a back scratching video on top of the idle.
On top of the car video?
Yeah.
Getting your back scratched while in your car while it's idling?
Yeah. Danielle, I'm never leaving the house.
Talk about a wet dream.
Aren't we going to the Elks tonight? Nope. This is where I'm at tonight. Just me and YouTube.
Back scratching in the car while the car's idling.
Yeah. And by the way, if you're listening or watching and you're aware of any, I think we looked this up recently, not on the show, but we talked about it off camera. Was, anybody can go get a massage. You can pay for a massage. It's like $50-$60 an hour. What?
Yeah. Right here, 9 hours of relaxing V8 engine idle. Sleep, study, white noise.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think you were here. You witnessed it. Cory's new obsession.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to play that later.
Yeah, bookmarked.
See how that
subscribed.
turns out.
Save for later. No, you can get a massage for like $50-$60 an hour, which is great.
Where are you going for $50 an hour?
When was the last time you got a massage? Have you ever gotten a massage?
Yeah.
Okay, what'd you pay?
Sorry, Danielle came to drop the keys back off. And
here's your keys, motherfucker.
No, I
changed my mind.
No, because I didn't want to. I've gone once or twice on a day off.
Yeah.
Just because I really wanted to get a massage, and
sure.
I never mentioned anything to her because I know she would want to go too, but she was working. So
because you didn't want to have to wait. Like she would insist on going together, and you're like, well, that means I can't go today. I got to wait for a time when you're available.
Exactly.
Well, but again, you've been married for 4 years, and this is the kind of thing where you're like, look, I need a massage. Like, here's what I'm going. If you're free, that's cool. Otherwise, like, I would recommend this. You're not courting each other anymore.
No. And not that she would have been insanely upset or anything like that. She would have just been like, oh, really? Like, you couldn't have waited for me? So I've never brought it up to her.
That's okay. I mean, I see your angle.
Yeah.
I guess I would say, as long as you're upfront with it, like, hey, tomorrow I want to go get a massage. I'm about to call. Like, she can call and join you, but if not, that's not going to change my plans.
Because I do it on Mondays.
Well, that's your day off, right?
Yeah, and she works.
And if your days off don't match up, then that's why. But I don't know that I would keep a top secret. Of all the secrets you can keep from your wife, that seems like a pretty useless secret to keep.
No, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a secret. Like I said, I just haven't brought it up because I know she'd be like, oh, I wanted to go with you.
Yeah.
So, it's I think 70. for the hours.
Yeah,
But,
so you're probably right. I think with insurance, I think I'm probably paying.
oh, you're going through insurance. Shit.
Yeah, insurance covers some piece of it, so I'm sure it's 60. But then you give a tip, right? So that's another $12-15.
Okay, so let's say the last one I got was in St. Clair Shores. I can't remember the name of the place. I know they just recently moved too. But,
Okay.
yeah. So it was 70, and then with tip, I think I paid like 95.
Yeah, which is a lot. So you're like, I want to go to someone that gives me a good massage to the point where I'm like, this is absolutely worth the money I'm spending.
Oh yeah,
You know?
for $95. Yeah, shit.
Yeah. But my point, Corey, my fucking point is.
Oh, let's hear your point, buddy.
My
Sorry.
point is, if anybody's listening or watching this podcast and can DM us on Instagram or email us at schnozzcast@gmail.com and tell us, is there a similar service that you can go and pay an hourly rate for someone to just scratch your back?
Oh, yeah, we just talked about.
We
this.
did right, not on the show, but
No,
this is
yeah.
officially on the show. I would pay easily, if I paid $70 for a massage, I would easily pay $100 for like an hour-long back scratch. Fuck me, and I'm sure there's people listening or watching that are like, "That you're fucking crazy. Why do you want a back scratch?" To them, I would say, "You're fucking crazy." Back scratches are amazing,
Dude,
especially for someone who has the right nails and knows what they're doing.
Let me go on record by saying I would definitely, just as kind of like what you just said.
Yeah.
I would definitely pay more for that than I would a full-on massage.
I'm with you 100%. In fact, I'll say, and this is maybe a little embarrassing because this is probably outside the norm a little bit, but there's a. So when your significant other takes their nails and they just kind of go like up and down
you have
the
a thing
arm,
with your arm, yeah.
man. And I've often talked about, like, if there was a place that just kind of had a glory hole where you could put your arm through and they just fucking scratched. It was like an arm scratch glory hole. Contender for the episode title, I'd like to point out.
Arm scratch glory hole?
Yes, I would pay for that almost as much as I would pay, certainly more than a massage, and almost as much as a back scratch.
I don't know if you know how glory holes work, buddy.
Well,
you're really not paying. You're really not paying anyone.
So
people are doing it just because they like to do it.
I could get services where I lay on a table and someone does that, but also if they were like, listen, that's not how we operate. We don't want to know who you are, and so here's a hole you just stick your arm through and you get the same experience. I'm like, yep, I'll do that. That's fine.
I don't know.
This is either going to be the thing that breaks us through to another level, or where I've just lost a large percentage of our already very small audience.
Huh? That doesn't feel like nail scratching my arm. That feels.
That's a hard penis you've got there, sir. A very sharp edged penis.
Feels like a bit of a dick tip rubbing up against my arm. Because I'm sure that's what would happen.
All right. So on that note, it seems like a good time to.
Let's do the shot, but I do want to continue on that for one more second.
Oh yeah, no, we're not going to drop it. So we're a drinking podcast, so definitely join us.
And we're out in this beautiful weather.
Well,
on a Sunday,
not raining. That's
no.
And it's probably low 70s.
It's 70 right now.
Perfect.
So
couldn't be better.
We might do a little more drinking than what we normally do.
End of spring. Well, some of us have to drive home. So.
Oh, you can stay at the house for a second.
I also have a dog that would like to eat at some point and probably not shit in my house. So we'll see how that goes.
He's fine.
Okay. So please join us. Pour yourself a libation. Grab yourself the liquor of your choice. Get a shot glass, or you can just be savages like we are and just go right from the bottle. Cheers.
Right from the head. So my continuation on the the back scratching and arm scratching and dickhead scratching.
Hold on.
Scratching with a dickhead.
Yeah, that was a humorous parable that we told. That isn't a real situation.
No. Yeah, no. It has not happened to me. It's probably only happened to Bob. But our friend Aaron has magical hands.
Who does?
Aaron.
Yeah.
And so we've discussed with her. So first of all, she can do this.
By the way,
with her knuckles.
I'm not sure I've ever received the level of back scratch that you have.
Probably
Aaron,
not, but I've known Aaron longer.
Intensity and the.
I've known Aaron much longer than you have, so that's why I get that.
Yeah, that's
that
fair.
benefit. But the other day, we met her at Ray's, and she gave me this head massage that was
Not a head scratch, a head massage.
well, it was a bit of both. You know, she scratched.
Oh,
the
she
scalp,
switched it up a little bit.
and then she would do like around the eyebrows and like with the pressure, you know, through your sinuses, and it was absolutely fantastic. And then she does this thing with her knuckles that she can like roll them on your back. I don't have the coordination to even begin to start doing it, but it feels like a machine on your back.
Yeah.
And she's pretty strong, so she can give a real good deep massage. And so we told her that, hey, like you're missing out, because we talked about the back scratcher girls down in Miami, and I sent her a couple videos, and she's like, huh. She's like, that is interesting. She's like, I might need to look into this.
I do not know why massage parlors don't also offer back scratch services. It boggles my mind.
Dude, watching the scratcher girls, again, that's something I can literally put on TikTok and fall asleep.
But you're listening to the sound of it, which is different than the experiencing of it. And I know that you're a fan of both, but
yeah.
some people like the ASMR equivalent of the scratching sound. And it's a big thing on YouTube. But other people like to actually get the scratch, like to be scratched in that way.
I mean, obviously, I love
and there's
both,
there's a light scratch, and there's the deep, like you look like you've been lashed, like you were the albino monk in the Da Vinci Code, just lashes across your back.
And that was Danielle, not my wife Danielle, our friend Duggan that he used to date, Danielle, that we became friends with. Dude, she was not afraid to. Oh, she would tear right into your back.
Yeah.
And that was probably one of the best back scratches.
I think at one point it got to the point where we were playing at JP's, right? We were throwing darts.
It was
Or-
and she was come to Ray's too.
Yeah, but then she would do it, and then she had got a reputation for having a particular skill with a really hard scratch, like a deep scratch.
Yes.
To the point where people would ask us, well, lift up your shirt. Like, let me see. And it was like clear marks.
Yeah,
like not drawing blood, but coming very close.
She would dig into you big time, which was phenomenal.
I feel like we need to remind people that we are here at the Elks Car Show.
Yes. This is not a back scratching or massage expo.
Listen, when I put the post up on Facebook that we were here, I listed us as being we're up at the Elks, classic cars, burgers, brats, great tunes, and your favorite Anything Goes podcast. And I feel like we're living up to that.
I sure think so.
People are like, what do you guys talk about? Anything, whatever we feel like.
Back scratching and massages.
Yeah, that's just how it is. So, where do we go from back scratching?
That's a good question.
I'm gonna go back to my notes here for some of the stuff that is very, very old that I don't think we've ever talked about. So, Cory, I want to ask you. Here's a statement that I want you to think about, like as if you were going to make this statement to somebody else.
Okay.
Right? The statement is, I'm outraged if you haven't seen these movies.
Oh, well, I got the first. Well, you know, that's funny you posed the question that way.
Yeah.
Because, like, people that have not seen The Big Lebowski,
Right.
I'm like, that sucks. But I guess I've never been outraged at someone not seeing a movie.
Are there any other movies that spur you with an actual sense of outrage more than The Big Lebowski? Like movies that you feel like, what are you even doing if you haven't watched this movie?
You know what? I feel like there's been a couple that I've brought up to you or Todd on the podcast when we do Gentleman's Agreement.
Okay.
But I can't think off the top of my head what they are. Yeah, I can't think of it, the specific movies.
What was the one? Do you keep it on your phone? Do you have OneNote on your phone or on your iPad?
I do.
Because there was one in the last week and a half where we were talking to Todd about movies, and you named a movie, and he said he hadn't seen it, and you could not believe that he hadn't seen it. And I was hoping that you'd written it down.
I probably didn't. No, because that was one of the ones that came to memory.
Yeah.
But I can't think of what the movie was.
I think while you're thinking about that, I would say in a short list of movies that I would be outraged to hear that anyone that whose opinion I value had not seen it, I would list The Godfather. I would list Caddyshack.
Okay.
I would list I don't know, for some reason Madonna just popped in my mind, but she's made no movies that anyone gives a shit about.
What the Madonna?
What was the movie she made when she was their first movie? She was getting famous. Who's That Girl?
Her first movie?
Yeah, Who's That Girl with Griffin Dunn and Rosanna Arquette. It was her first movie that she was in before she even did Dick Tracy. And she was like the crazy bad girl who was going out to dance clubs, and basically she was playing herself.
I can tell you in a second, as soon as my hotspot uploads this page.
Anyway, yeah, so My Cousin Vinny, I would say. And that kind of covers the gamut of like comedy you should be aware of and know that this sets the bar for a particular type of comedy.
I can tell you one that I tell people that I've never seen.
And they all can't believe it.
Any guesses?
Star Wars?
Yep.
Yeah. I didn't even mention Star Wars because maybe it's because I'm friends with you.
Everyone's seen Star Wars.
Maybe it's because I'm friends with you and I know you haven't seen it, and yet you're still my friend, and yet you still walk the earth and talk to normal people and you have actual conversations.
Thank you.
So you're human proof that you don't need to see Star Wars to exist in the world.
Again, thank you. I think. All right.
So I can't be outraged you haven't seen it because clearly you found a way to exist without it. But you are a unique individual in that movies of that genre, the fantasy, sci-fi, are just not your bag.
No,
they're just not.
It's not a genre that I necessarily care for. I mean, there's plenty that I have seen that are in that genre. But I'm like, it was a good movie.
It was all right.
It was okay.
It was a little bit of all right.
Yeah.
All right. So I think, I think those are. Wow, this is a very old note, Cory. I want to say this note's probably from like 6 years ago.
You always come. But we haven't been doing the podcast for 6 years.
Fuck yeah, we have.
No.
It's been like 7 or 8 since we did the first episode.
No, because Danielle and I were together. Well, I guess we've been together 10 years.
Yeah.
No, it hasn't been that long.
Yes, it has. It absolutely has. I want to say it was like 2017 when Anton and I did the very first episode. Yeah, and that's 8 years ago. So
that's when you and Anton did it.
Yeah, so that was the first episode, and then it sat there for a year, and then so it was 7 years ago that we did the first episodes in my kitchen. It's been a long time.
I mean, I know it's been a little bit, but I'm always on more like 4 years.
What?
5 years, maybe at the most.
Fucking insane.
I'm just saying.
There's no way. There is no way. I literally, if I go on to, if I go on to, if I can get my internet to work, see full show, Schnozzcast, Apple Podcasts, see all 329 episodes. I go
This is 333.
all the way back. Episode 3. Episode 3 was the first one after the fill. There was no episode. Well, there was an episode 2. Hey. Just doing a podcast. How you doing, eh? Hey. Oh. We did an episode 1 was in. Well, you know what? This is not even accurate because I think this is when I uploaded them to YouTube or to Apple Podcasts.
Okay, but still,
February of 2019. I was episode 3.
So 6 years.
But on the same date, I also have episode 4, episode 5, episode 6, 8. So I feel like it was earlier than that, and it was just that was when we started to actually distribute the show.
Okay.
So it was definitely before. I would say it was probably back in 2018, which means that's 7 years.
All right. I guess I stand corrected.
You do stand corrected, sir.
Wow.
All right. Since we're on the movie tip, what movie have you watched more times in your life than any other? You could say The Big Lebowski. That would be my guess.
That's actually not the most watched movie.
Yeah, it's a brain buster. DM us at schnozzcast@gmail.com. Well, DM us at Gmail. DM us on Schnozzcast on Instagram with your answer. What is the movie that you've seen more times than any other movie?
What's your answer?
It's got to be Raiders of the Lost Ark. Got to be.
Okay.
Got to be. I'm shocking myself by saying it's not Star Wars, which was the first, fall in love with the movie I ever saw. But Raiders has just aged so much better.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's a very good question.
What was the first movie that you remember seeing?
Well, another good question.
I'm full of them tonight.
I would say it was probably a Disney movie of some sort.
Okay.
Which one? I do not know. Maybe Bambi?
I mean, you're a little old to have been in the Pixar generation. I think that was my kids.
Oh, yeah. No. Disney was still just Disney when...
Yeah. But it definitely wasn't Bambi. I mean, I guess the movie was available to watch, but it wasn't current at the time.
No, it was already out for a
I think bit. Bambi was back when I was a kid or even older than that.
In the 30s? Bambi didn't come out in the 30s.
Well, fuck you. Now I got to look it up. Which is always great to do when you're sitting in a Elks parking lot and you really don't have great internet.
Yeah, even the hotspot on
Bambi,
my phone is not working.
1942. My dad was 1 year old. That's how long ago that was. And if I was smart on my Google search, I'd be able to tell you what was current as far as Disney films when you were a kid. But it could have been any of those movies.
So so other than movie,
yeah,
I know a show. The show that I've watched the most,
the TV show, okay,
has been The Office.
Oh yeah, I would have guessed that.
I watch that over and over and over and over and over again.
Why is that? Is it because it gives you some sort of like a calming, like I don't have to pay attention because I know what's going on in this show. I've seen this episode before and I just need some background noise.
So that's part of it. Like when we go to bed at night, I like to have something playing. I have sleep headphones so Danielle doesn't have to put up with the sound.
Right.
So yeah.
Do you ever like put on a softcore porn film and give her one of the headphones?
Bob, we only do hardcore porn.
That's fine.
Softcore. Get out
Well,
of
listen,
here.
if you really want to go to sleep, you don't want the hardcore porn on. You're like, I do
Oh.
actually want to go to sleep.
Puts me right to sleep.
Hardcore porn does? Hardcore porn knocks me out.
The louder
That is the quote of the episode.
the louder
from
the
Cory
screaming
Selesky.
and the moaning, the easier I can go to bed.
Okay. I got to be honest with you. This is going to be a really difficult episode to find what 3 descriptive phrases are going to describe this episode and the title. Because we're kind of all over the place.
Hardcore porn sleeping.
Yep. Hardcore porn knocks me out. Quote, Cory Selesky.
I mean, it could also be the masturbating I do right before I go to sleep, but, you know.
All right, so we're doing a 50-50.
You have tickets?
I do have tickets.
Okay. We're going to see if Bob
I've been a
wins
big
50-50.
loser every time. Let's see if I'm going to win or not.
How much have you put in so far?
I only bought 8 tickets for $5.
Oh, that's not bad.
But they keep calling them. But now they're calling, like the last time they called them, those numbers were like way higher than what I picked. So they're obviously selling more tickets, which is great. But I have less of a chance to win, which is not so great.
That is true.
And the cash prize keeps going down.
That seems a little odd. The more tickets they sell, the cash prize goes down?
Yeah. It was $85, and then an hour later it was $65. And I'm like, what the fuck?
But there's more tickets sold.
Come on, Elks. Maybe they only sold 2 more tickets. Some guy's like, 8 for $5? No, I'll just take 2 tickets. Hey, would you like a wristband?
I can't remember her name. It's Eric's wife.
Hey, Eric's wife.
No, don't do that.
I feel like no one can hear what I'm saying.
Ask Danielle. Tell her to come
Danielle,
over here.
what's her name in the white coat? Kim? Kim! Bracelet?
Thank you.
Sticker?
Thanks. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Are you on? Like, you're guys.
We're recording now, yeah.
YouTube, everything.
Oh, okay.
YouTube, Instagram.
Anywhere we can get a podcast.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yep.
okay. That's cool. Awesome.
Yes, indeed.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Summer dreams.
Oh, my God.
I legitimately, I don't think I've ever seen Grease all the way through.
Really?
Yeah.
That's surprising.
It was a chick movie.
I mean, it's
It was the kind of literally when I was in school in the 80s, it was the kind of movie that like chicks got together and they had like sleepover parties, like slumber
it?
parties, and they watched it. Yeah. Dudes did not watch that movie unless they were going out with someone who made them watch it. Like, baby, if you love me, you'll watch this movie with me. Like, okay.
So you didn't have a girlfriend, is what you're saying?
You're correct.
Okay. All right.
Thanks for putting a very fine point on that.
Hey, just checking, buddy. Just checking.
Yeah. So what's we've got a little bit of reconfiguration of the cars in this
Yeah,
lot.
I was wondering what's going on here. They're
Yeah, they're kind of concentrating all the cars in this one spot where people can walk up and down. I see we're going further with the Travolta theme.
Oh, and I didn't realize the guys that we talked to earlier left as well.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they left. They might have just moved their cars.
I guess they could have, but
Yeah, but when I was growing up, at least for me, the big movie wasn't Grease. I think that was slightly before my time. For me, it was Footloose. It was everybody went to the movies to see Footloose.
so
If you wanted to be with a girl, like you had to talk Footloose. You had to know what it was about. You had to agree that it was awesome.
so you went and saw Footloose.
I did not.
Okay, so have you ever seen Footloose?
No. But I was able to talk about it as though I had.
Okay.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think I've ever seen Footloose all the way through myself.
Yeah, but for me it was even more difficult because of when I grew up. It was so incredibly popular. It was like Footloose, Top Gun, Back to the Future, like 83, 84, 85. Those are the big movies when I was a kid.
I don't
And I'm
know.
sure you had similar, like, when did you graduate high school?
2005.
2005. You graduated high school in 2005? Well, I guess 20 years ago. Okay.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
It's still a pretty long time ago.
Yeah. I forgot how fucking old you are.
And just how much older you are than I am.
Right. So what were the big, was it like The Matrix?
The Matrix was a big one. When it wasn't so much, it wasn't in high school, but Titanic. I think that was like 7th to 8th grade.
Okay.
Titanic was the big movie to go see. Because I remember,
yeah.
I remember to go. I went and saw it with my boosh, my grandmother, and she didn't know what she signed up for because she was not a movie person by any means. And about an hour and a half in, she's like, "Is this almost over?" And I was like, "Oh, no."
This is hold on. This is a movie about an actual historical event
Yes.
that everyone knew the ending to.
Yes.
Like the Titanic, spoiler alert, the Titanic sinks.
Believe it or not.
Yeah. Actually goes underwater, and that's the end of the movie. And she was watching the Titanic still afloat, going, "How come this isn't over yet? Why? What is taking so long for this boat to sink? Clearly, they've already hit the iceberg."
I think she was just like, "Please just hit the iceberg and sink already."
Do you think that she...
Here we go.
Oh, hold on. Here we go. Did I win?
$7 for the 50-50, and the lucky number is
Yeah.
3137. That's my phone number. What the hell? No.
Come on, dude.
737.
Yep.
5.
Nope. Fuck.
Not even close.
I wasn't even close.
Is making me wake
Now, so I have like 737, 19, 3, 4, 5, and 6, or well, 3 through 8.
And you went to 7375.
Yeah. There's no way you've sold that many tickets since we got here. There just isn't. Are people buying like 400 tickets a pop?
There could be someone at the car show buying a shit ton of tickets.
Here's $150. I want a bunch of tickets. Even though the prize is $65.
Maybe they're in the bar.
How did I lose out on 50-50?
Yeah. Why do my get rich quick schemes keep failing?
Because you spent 150 to win 65.
All right.
564. Thank you, Bob. Purple ticket.
There's a whole lot of losing bets out there, most of which happen at the casino, but this has got to be one of them.
Johnny, you ain't holding out on me over there, are you? Just because you don't want to buy a drink. Then
Corey, I just got paid, and I'm putting my whole paycheck down like 50-50 the Elks.
Spent
Yeah.
$3,000. Got 65 back.
Yep. And I don't know why my wife asked me for the keys and then walked out, and I haven't seen her since.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
Hey, babe, I spent our life savings on 50-50.
Yeah.
You ever heard that?
I'll be right back.
We have to win.
Yeah. There's a sale at the Ralph's down the street.
6, 4.
Half and half for 69 cents. I'll be right back.
You guys take a check?
Yeah.
John, I just talked about your ass.
Talked about his ass.
I don't care who
That's
it is
rude.
buying me a drink. It don't matter. If they wasn't my friend, they will be in a minute. Let me see a 5, 6, 4.
All right, I think I'm going to refill this real quick.
Yeah, that's a good idea. You do that, and I'm going to come up with the next topic here.
Sounds like a plan.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Well, kiss my grits. He got it. 100
Let's see.
to the winner. All right, we're going to be doing this again.
What do I got on my... what was the one I just asked? Oh, yeah. What movie have you watched more times in your life than any other? Okay. What's another good question that I have? Legitimately, these questions have been in my OneNote for years. And for some reason, we've never gotten to them. And I know why that reason is. And he's no longer hosting this show. I won't say his name. Here's a perfect Cory question. I can't wait for this. So, Cory, the question is, items that you think are overpriced, but you replace them the minute that they break. I think I put this question in there specifically for you.
Everything.
So everything is overpriced, but if it breaks, you're going to immediately replace it?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, not every. I've been a lot better in recent past.
Yeah.
Because my biggest thing was like even if something didn't technically break, it
Right.
just got a little damaged.
Yeah.
I'd be like, gotta get a new one.
Gotta get a new one. So
And now I realize in my older years that that's not a sustainable way of life.
yeah.
so
now
I-
that you have someone else to answer to besides yourself.
Yeah, so I might ding some things up and just be like, you know what? That's just normal wear and tear. That's what happens.
I could do without that.
And I gotta just keep going with what I got.
Yeah. So what is that thing?
Oh, it could be anything. It used to be anything.
Okay.
But for example, the most recent thing that I had to talk myself down from, the phone cases that we got,
Yeah.
the Reborn Design carbon fiber cases.
Right.
I was leaving for work one day, and I had a bunch of stuff in my arms I was trying to put in the back of my car. And for some reason, I had my phone in my hand, which I normally have in my pocket when I'm leaving for work. But I had it in my hand, and I went to go readjust some stuff, and I dropped it. And it landed right on the corner of the case. And it put just a tiny little mark in it.
In the case or the phone?
The case. The
Okay.
phone's fine.
Okay.
So good job.
Case did its job.
Reborn devices, yes. But I saw the little nick on the top, and I was like, well, I guess I have to order a new one. And the more and more I thought, I'm like, because they're not cheap. They're not $5 phone cases.
Yeah.
And the more I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, I can't. It's a little nick on it. That's what the case is there for. Now, like had the case like shattered or obviously something like that, then yes, I would have gotten a new one. But
Right.
the little nick in the corner can't justify buying a brand new $45 phone case
Yeah.
just because I put a little nick in it. So
Okay. I think I would say. So over here off camera, I have the Jackery, which is I feel like I've had this battery for at least 5 years. I feel like I've had it for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And Cory's got a nice one too. I'm not sure what the brand name is.
The Blue Eddy.
Blue Eddy, right? BLUETTI.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's got a smaller form factor. It basically does the same thing, but probably does it better for cheaper. I'm just guessing.
No, Blue Eddies they're up there.
Okay, so probably same price, but
I
smaller.
think it was like 160.
Maybe a little more functionality. So, yeah, it's basically a portable battery that you can use to charge your cell phones. We're currently running the mixer off of my Jackery right now, and they still sell them today. But this thing has saved me so many times that I know I paid more for it than I felt like it was worth when I bought it, because it was like cool technology, right? And I wanted it, even though I'm like, that's a lot of money for the time for a fucking battery. But I have used the shit out of it, and if it broke tomorrow, I would pay probably more than what I paid for this one to replace it.
I mean, they come in handy. They definitely come in handy.
Yeah.
Power outages, or you just
Not even power outages.
To me, that was the first thing I thought about when I know.
The first thing you thought about, 100%. But you and I are in a group, a close-knit circle in which we go kayaking, camping, and we have a podcast. And that, to me, is like, that's where it's come in the most handy. I've never used mine for a power outage. That's not true. I've never used it to seriously power stuff. It's charged cell phones and shit when the power's been out. But I mean, I could invest in solar panels. I could invest in a bigger one that would legitimately power something more than a phone and a mixer, like something that would power like a small fridge or a TV. But just the functionality of it, like what we use it for, our hobbies, absolutely mean you need something like that.
Oh, I mean, so as you can see behind us, we're nowhere near a building right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, had we not brought these with us, yeah, dude, I honestly don't know where we would have set up at, because
Right.
it would have either been over there where no one's at.
Yeah. Oh, hey.
How's it going?
How are you?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I can't hear a thing. I don't even know what his name
You're
is.
more than welcome to join if you want to.
Yeah, there's a microphone right there. See, that's really the trick, right? You get someone who's like, oh, you guys doing a podcast. And then you go like, oh, there's a mic right over there. You can sit down right there with the headphones. You're like, no, not interested. And Jim's been one of those guys who legitimately is like, yeah, I'll sit down with you. But most people are like, no, I'm good. Hey, if you're going to sit down over there, because there's... Oh, okay. See, that's how I knew how comfortable Jim was, because he's like, I'm going to sit down over here. I might be on your show. I might just be resting.
I think we can you see him?
Who's
a
that?
little bit of him. All right.
Who are you looking at?
Jim.
Oh, on the camera?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fine. He may not want to be on camera currently. He's the face of many different things, and maybe sometimes he just wants a little time alone.
Jim is the exalted ruler here at the Elks Lodge, 2292.
I think I said Grand Poobah last time we were here, and I got 0 laughs. People didn't know what I was talking about.
He likes that term too.
No, Grand Poobah.
Oh, Grand Poobah?
Yeah. And don't tell me you're not fucking old enough to know who the Flintstones are.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, good. Now, if your lovely wife were to be like, I don't know what you're talking about when you say the Flintstones, I'd be like, okay, I get it. You're a young lass.
The Flintstones.
I'm not sure what the age cutoff is. That may be the difference between like groups of like Gen X, Millennial, Gen Z. Like at some point, if you don't know who the Flintstones are, you fall out of one group and into another.
I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, but I don't know what that age range or cutoff would be, because most people I associate with and know the Flintstones.
You know a lot of meatheads.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
That's why I'm friends with you.
Oh, I hope I'm your oldest meathead friend.
Yeah, probably.
Whew. All right, we ready for another shot?
Sure.
All right.
What are we at right now? We're at 57 minutes.
Yeah?
We can take a break if you want.
Flying by, can we?
Yeah.
I'm okay for the moment.
Okay.
But if we're going to go to like a 2-hour mark, we're going to have to take a break, because there's no way I'm not going to have to hit the bathroom.
Well, yeah,
in 2 hours.
both of us.
Yeah. There's a nice big crowd here. I assume they're not as full as they were last year when it was nice and bright, sunny sunshine out.
That's the part that sucks a little bit, because again, we've mentioned before, it's a little bit of an overcast day. And people with these kind of cars that put the time and effort and work into them.
Yeah.
They don't. If there's even a chance of rain or it looks overcast, some people just won't bring them out because they don't want them to see rain. So I think the cloudiness today kind of calmed things down a little bit, because last year it was. I mean, it was all the way from there, and all these spaces were full as well.
Right.
Yeah, it's just the weather. It is what it is.
We're down to only 2 Schnozzcast bracelets left out of a total of maybe 12 that we. I'm not sure how many we had.
No,
There's just a ball of bracelets.
There's probably like 20 there.
All right, so we're going to do another shot. Please join us. I'm going to give this over to Cory first. Cheers to Todd Dillon, who obviously we know is he's on the West Coast, and he's 3 hours behind. And so, normally we start the podcast, it's, 6 p.m. his time. But starting a podcast at which we are like, listen, you're going to have to join us, and you're going to have to start drinking at 9 in the morning on a Sunday.
And we also didn't know exactly what time we were going to start.
We didn't. Well, we had a rough idea.
Well, yeah, we had a rough idea, but we didn't have a okay. What? I'm good right now.
Is she asking if you want a brat?
She said I need to eat something.
Well, we've got some Lay's bacon and cheese chips over here.
That is true. Grilled cheese with bacon.
Grilled cheese with bacon.
Yes.
Yep. It was an impulse buy,
Good,
but I thought of Cory when I saw it there. I'm like, oh no, we have to do that.
Danielle and I have already tried those. They are
Yeah.
fantastic. How Lay's and Pringles comes up with some of the flavors they do, and it tastes exactly like what you're eating.
Now,
As a matter of fact, it was on
Yeah.
it was down on our way down to Siesta Key that we came across those.
when you hit the Buc-ee's, every stop you could.
Now, this is actually at a pilot.
Okay.
But dude, let's talk about Buc-ee's for a second.
Go ahead. I've never been there.
So,
Do you think there's enough time for me to go use the bathroom while you're talking about Buc-ee's?
I just asked if you want to take a break.
No, I know, but we don't have to take a break. Like, I really feel like you could go through a whole description of all the majesty of Buc-ee's that you witnessed. That'd be enough time for me to get to the bathroom and back.
No, let's take a break.
All right.
We'll be right back.
So we left off talking about Buc-ee's
Dude,
and your trip to Siesta Key.
so for those of you out there that aren't familiar with the I hate to call it a gas station because it's not a gas
It's really not. It's a convenience station.
Yeah, it's like if you took Walmart and the Costco gas station pumps, multiplied it by 100, that's Buc-ee's. And they started in Texas. There's like 38 of them in Texas. But
It's awesome that you know that.
Danielle actually looked it up when we were driving. She had a lot of time on her hands.
Yeah.
Since I did all the goddamn driving.
Goddamn driving.
She did offer, but
You said absolutely not.
you're taking after my dad.
I got it.
He would never let my mom drive because he didn't
Right.
want to have to put her through. Well, not even through that, but he was trying to be respectful and you know.
Is that what he? Yeah. No, that's just how it was back then.
Yeah.
He was raised at a time where, like, no, the women do the cooking and the cleaning, and the guys do the driving
Hang on.
and the money earning.
My dad. No. That was not my dad. For official verification, that was not my dad's view on life.
Yeah,
No,
well,
he would cook, he would grill. He was a terrible griller, I will say that.
grilling is not cooking.
What?
No. When it comes to division of labor, cooking in the kitchen is different than grilling.
Well, I guess we all know where Bob stands now,
No,
everyone.
I'm just saying that's how we were raised.
No,
My
but-
dad grilled too,
But no, so again, those were not his view.
but it was when it was raining. My dad was like, "What are we having for dinner?" He wasn't like, "Let me cook this."
Oh no, dude, rain, snow, sun,
No,
any time.
my dad was like, "It's raining. What are we having, baby?"
Oh yeah. So then your dad was a little different than mine.
Yeah. Like I said, he was born the year before. What was the movie we were just talking about? Oh, Bambi. The year before Bambi came out.
41.
Yeah,
So my dad was a little after that.
a little bit.
But yeah, so I usually like I said Danielle did offer to drive, but I'm like, yeah, I got it. No big deal. But
I got it.
on our way down, there were several Buc-ee's that we were able to stop at. And the first one we stopped at was in Kentucky. And dude, we pulled up. First of all, they have their own lanes of traffic.
What do you mean?
So like when you get off the off ramp or on the off ramp, however.
Oh,
you
you can go left to go east. You can go right to go west, or you can go straight through right to Buc-ee's.
So there was you could go
Is it
left.
on the county road signs?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you could go left, you could go straight, you could go right, but you could also go into a further right turn lane that took you to Buc-ee's.
Okay.
And it was backed up like you wouldn't believe. And when we pulled up, dude, there's literally 100 gas pumps. And that alone, and then the parking lot's packed all the time. We pulled in, got in, and once we parked and saw the gas pumps, all that, walked into the store, dude, it's so overwhelming. They have everything you could ever imagine,
Yeah.
and then the food. Oh, oh, dude, there's stations that they make sandwiches at. Another one makes chicken tenders and fries. Another one makes burritos and tacos. And there's just people behind the counter literally just pumping these things out. And you just go up and grab what's there. Oops, that was good.
Oh no. Oh no.
I spilled
I
it.
will say, Jack, my son, has been on tour with his band almost everywhere east of the Mississippi, and has been to Buc-ee's. And the report I got back from him, because I've never been to one.
Oh, I don't know if I want to hear
he's
this.
like, I had to leave almost immediately because it was so overwhelming. It was like sensory overload. He's like, I started to get an anxiety attack, and I had to walk out.
It's very overwhelming. Because there's people everywhere, and there's this and that going on. And when they pump out these sandwiches, I don't know what the cause of it is, or what, like, if they have to have, like, hit a certain limit of things.
Yeah.
But then, like, all the people making the sandwiches will yell and start saying, like, turkey on the floor. And you're just
The
like,
workers are yelling that?
yeah. And then there's a Buc-ee walking around in a Buc-ee costume, taking pictures with people. But dude, some of the best. And I'm a connoisseur of gas station food. I would nowhere near qualify this as gas station food. This is high quality, good food. What are you trying to do?
Keep talking.
Okay. Dude, brisket sandwiches, chopped brisket, pulled pork, thick cut turkey sandwiches. Their barbecue sauce, out of this world.
Okay.
We actually have several cups of it in the fridge right now at home.
Still?
Oh, dude, yeah.
That can't be any good. You got home a week ago.
It's barbecue sauce. It's good for a while.
A while.
A long time.
That's a nebulous amount of time.
Dude, barbecue sauce isn't even refrigerated when you go into the store. Yeah, no, absolutely exceptional stuff.
Right.
The best thing that I found there, it's made by a company called Flock, F-L-O-C-K. And
Spell like it sounds.
dude, they're fried chicken skins.
Hold on. Did you say fried chicken skins?
Yes. Like if you go get a rotisserie chicken,
So the stuff that most healthy people pull off and don't even eat. They're selling those specifically.
in bag form, yes.
So you're buying a bag. Hold on. You're buying a bag of fried chicken skins.
Deep fried chicken skins, yeah.
I mean, I feel like it could just say bag of chicken skins and you'd assume it was deep fried.
Well,
You wouldn't buy raw chicken skins.
Well, no.
Okay.
That's fair enough. But
Those are amazing, huh?
you dip those in the barbecue sauce?
Jesus Christ.
I actually just got hard thinking about it.
This is how we pull in the redneck audience that we've been.
So desperately dying for it. Yeah. Oh, dude. I had to buy
Folks,
stuff.
if you're down there down in the south, come on, give it up for the Schnozzcast.
Get them chicken skins.
Get them fried chicken skins.
It's basically like a pork rind, except it's just chicken skin.
It's like a pork rind, but it's chicken and it's the skin.
And it
All right.
amazing. Absolutely amazing.
You ever had a Tums, like when you have heartburn? It's just like a chicken skin, except it's a Tums.
No. That's not even a close representation. So I will say, if you're anywhere near a Buc-ee's or you're traveling down south, stop by Buc-ee's. It's worth.
If you're like me and one of the very few Americans who's never been to a Buc-ee's.
You got, dude. One day.
One day I'll go there.
The closest one, 6 hours and 42 minutes from here.
But not even worth the trip. not even worth a planned trip, I feel.
It's only 12 hours there and back.
You got to spare 12 hours? Just plan that trip.
I feel like Lori would like it.
No, she would hate it. 100%. Absolutely hate it. First of all, there wouldn't be anything there that she could actually ingest that she's not allergic to or otherwise deeply unsettled by. She definitely would not eat there.
Chicken skins are gluten-free.
She's allergic to chicken.
It's just skin, though.
No, all chicken. Would it be crazy if she couldn't eat the chicken, but she could eat the chicken skin? Oh my God, I'm eating so much chicken skin.
That's what I was kind of hoping for.
I'd be like, are you making chicken? Save the skin because I cannot wait for my next bag of chicken skin.
She goes, buys 3 rotisserie chickens, just tosses out all the meat, and just cooks the skin.
Yeah. By the way, I think I see what you're doing there, trying to go for the episode title, but bag of chicken skin. I'm thinking.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking that.
Coming in a distant second, I think.
Wasn't even thinking that. But I'm glad I could toss it out in the ether.
Oh, I see Danielle Selesky stomping angrily off to the bathroom without your car keys.
Well, that's good. At least she's not leaving this time.
All right, we are a drinking podcast, and that means, guess what?
Oh.
It's time again.
Yeah, and I got to grab a drink.
God damn it. I want to say it like Walter. Because I got to tell you, since we did, by the way, if you have not gone back to listen to the, what do we call it? What the fuck was the name of the episode? It's going to bother me now.
Big balls.
Big blue balls and
big
blue bulls.
Blue balls
and big mouths.
And big mouths, yes.
Yeah. Which was episode number 332. Just released on this past Friday. And you have not listened to that and heard our spot-on, heavily engineered, and yet absolutely faithful rendition of the opening scene in the bowling alley from The Big Lebowski with Donnie and Walter and the dude. Do yourself a favor and get out there and listen to it or watch it on YouTube. You will not be disappointed. And I'm speaking particularly about the audio episode, which I engineered within an inch of its life to be as note perfect. And Cory, I got to tell you, I had, if you ever use GarageBand, you know, you got multiple tracks, track 1, track 2, track 3. I had 3 different tracks filled with, because we did 2 takes, right? And every take, I cut out the specific line, every line was separated. And I was moving shit around. I was going this one, that one, this one, that one. And I was mix and matching from each of the takes. And I was splicing them together to remove any sort of pause or delay from Todd being in Seattle. And it is the best amateur podcast rendition of a Big Lebowski scene that has ever been made, has ever existed.
I've been meaning to talk to you about that.
Oh, did you listen to it?
Well, when I was editing the video, we did 3 takes.
No, you can't count. No, we did 2 separate takes. The first take, we had to stop and restart a couple of times.
Well, again, we did that at least 3 times.
No, not from start to finish. We only did start to finish twice.
Okay, fair enough. But the last one, we did perfectly. So you didn't have to edit
No,
it.
it wasn't perfect. There were, in my estimation, and since it was up to me, that's all that matters. The first take had some line readings that were clearly better than the second take.
Oh, okay.
And so and I'm talking about like each line. Like you and I would go back and forth, line. I separated those into 4 separate lines, and I listened to each of them and I'm like, which one's the best?
Gotcha. Okay.
It is the audio version. And I don't mean to shit on the video version on YouTube because it's excellent.
Unfortunately, I'm not able to do because I only have 1 audio track.
Of course.
To work with.
Yeah.
So the last one we did, we read through the entire time with no errors.
Is that the one you kept on the video?
Yes.
You cut out the first one?
Yeah.
I think it's probably that's the best thing you could have done.
Yeah.
It's what I would have done.
Because I didn't.
But I had the luxury the luxury of splicing together the best take from each of those. And so if you're interested in normally the executive version, I call the YouTube version the executive version of the show. But in this particular case, I will say the audio version of it on Apple Podcasts or Google Play, wherever you get your podcasts, is the best version we could have done. And I'll be honest with you, I've probably listened to it 7 or 8 times because when you put that much work in something, you're like, how is this going to be received? And then you release it, and you're like, now I want to listen to it again because I'm imagining what someone who's downloading it for the first time would think when they listen to it. And then if you recommend it to someone, they're like, oh, I'm going to listen to that. And you're like, oh, now I'm going to listen to it again because I want to feel like what they're going to feel like when they listen to it again. So I've listened to it 7 or 8 times.
So, and not to go on and on about how great our podcast is.
No, this is but where else can we do it if not here?
But I told you on Thursday that when we were down in Siesta Key, at some point it hit me that I'm like, oh, while Danielle and I are down at the beach, like, this isn't our electricity. We can just have all the TVs on. And
this isn't our electricity.
I can have the podcast going all day long on YouTube and get us views. Because back it up a little bit. When we got down there, I discovered that I believe it was Eugene Davis. Eugene, if you're out there listening by now,
shout out.
Because I know in your algorithm there's a shit ton of Schnozzcast videos now. And since
well played, sir.
Since YouTube was logged into someone that obviously had stayed at the place prior to us, I just went on their profile and was playing the Schnozzcast videos while we were down at the beach or in the pool. And as I told you, I said it was very cool because it's not often that I'll edit the video and put it up on YouTube and go back and just watch it on our TV or watch it, as a YouTube video, which I was able to do a couple of times when we, come back to the condo and see it up there.
Right.
And yeah, man, it's really cool seeing what we're able to do and how good it turns out. So
it's crazy that we've done 332 episodes and Cory's just now learning that the video is watchable and even a pleasure to watch.
I mean, I don't want to pat myself on the back too much, you know what I'm saying?
But at some point you gotta, this is the part where, like, when you watch, sorry if I'm going far afield here, but if there's a big movie coming out, right, like fucking Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible, the Final Reckoning is in theaters right now.
Correct.
And Tom Cruise has been doing press like a goddamn savage, trying to hype up his movie. And during that press, they're asking him all sorts of questions about how did you do this, son, or what do you think about, how do you think about movies when you do this or do that? And he's had absolutely no hesitation in telling the world everything that he thinks about Mission Impossible and movies in general.
But I'm fucking exceptional at Mission Impossible movies.
Yeah, and hats off to Tom Cruise. Doff of the cap to you, sir. No one does their own stunts in a movie like Tom Cruise. There just isn't. I don't think that's up for debate.
No, and it's funny you bring that up because, like, Danielle can really not stand Tom Cruise.
Listen, a lot of people.
I get the whole Scientology thing, all that. Like,
absolutely,
I'm not on board with it.
But I can separate Tom Cruise, the movie star, from Tom Cruise, the crazy Scientologist.
And that's when it comes to movies like Mission Impossible, especially the Mission Impossible series.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I'm watching Mission Impossible.
100%. I'm the same way.
It's such an exceptional series. I can't not watch it.
Yep. And part of the reason is because he does all of his own goddamn stunts.
Yeah.
And so he was talking about it. He's been talking about it for weeks now online. And you just fucking Google Tom Cruise or do a search for him on Instagram or on YouTube, and you'll find those clips. He has no shortage of his thoughts about the movie business and Hollywood and what the future of movies is and how he does his movies, like all that kind of shit. But the point is,
if Tom Cruise is doing it,
the point is, there's so many actors that come out to review, to do press and marketing for their movies, and when someone asks them, so when you watch your movies, and there's so many of them that just come out there like, I don't watch my movies. I don't watch myself. And I'm like, you're so full of shit. It's unbelievable. There's no way you don't watch your movies. How do you get better? And I'm going to go out on a bold limb here and compare what we're doing on this podcast to Tom Cruise on Final Reckoning Mission Impossible.
That's what I was hoping for.
How do you get better at what you're doing if you don't watch yourself? How do you inspect or course correct or improve if you just do what you do and then you don't take any input from anybody?
Yeah,
It's such bullshit. I respect Tom Cruise for going like, no, here's how I did this in this movie, or I love movies and I watch my movies. Like, that's the honest answer. And every actor who's like, I don't watch myself, you can go fuck yourself, because that's a goddamn lie. There's no way you don't. And if you're really that much of a
piece of shit.
I don't know, a purist, or you're trying to be modest, I'm only about the art, then how are you getting any better? If Daniel Day-Lewis, the greatest actor arguably of our generation, said, I don't watch myself, I never have, then I would go like, okay, clearly there's something to that, because he's put out some of the greatest movies ever made and some of the greatest performances you ever see, and he doesn't watch himself. But everybody else, like, if Ben Affleck goes, I don't watch myself, I'd be like, you fucking Ben Affleck, you sir, you should probably watch yourself a few times, because you could probably do a little better.
I feel like Ben Affleck is the kind of guy that just masturbates to his own movies.
I think Ben Affleck is a good actor. I think he's a better director.
No, I think he's a great actor.
He's a better director than an actor. But maybe he'd be as good of an actor as he is a director if he watched himself in his movies every now and again.
I mean, you make a fair point.
And so, back to my original point, episode 332, Cory, for the first time, realizing, like, oh, the work I've been doing as the person who edits the video for our podcast on YouTube is actually enjoyable to watch. And I'm just now realizing the good work that I'm doing.
It was really cool.
I would encourage you to do that a little bit more often.
I guess I probably should.
Yeah.
Like I said, when I played it on screen without seeing, in cap cut with all the other stuff around it, it actually looks pretty good.
Yeah. It's like when you have to deliver a speech, you have to give a speech and they tell you, like, do it in front of a mirror. That's the equivalent of what we're talking about. If you're like, fuck that, I don't need to do it in front of a mirror. I know exactly how good I'm at, and I don't need to watch myself. Every person you know will tell you you should have looked in the mirror
And done it.
after you did it.
That makes sense.
All right, Cory, going back to my crazy list of stuff we've never talked about. I saw this one and I immediately thought of you. I have no idea how long it's been there. I don't have any context for it. I'm just going to throw it out there.
This is off to a good start.
Yeah.
Off to a good start.
I'm just going to throw it out there and you're going to reply. You're going to respond to it because I know that you're game in that way.
Okay.
And after doing so, I'm going to delete it from my notes and call it. I'm going to check it off my list.
What do you got?
This is all I wrote. Hot air balloons. Discuss.
Hot air balloons?
Yeah.
I've seen them.
And your thoughts?
Never been in one.
Would you ever go up in one?
I'm going to say no.
Why not?
Dude, it's a hot air balloon.
It's hot.
Imagine just taking a big ass helium balloon, grabbing onto it and being taken
you mean
up in
imagine how a
in the
hot air
sky.
balloon works?
No.
Yeah.
I know how it works.
Okay.
I get that. There's no control over anything
No, there is.
except how high and how low you can go.
Yeah.
Past that is about the wind.
Yes, that's true.
So, like, we could launch a hot air balloon from here right now.
Yes, we could.
And be like, oh, we want to go back to my house, which is only 2 blocks, like, they're 3 blocks over.
Yeah.
And who knows? We could end up 27 miles that way.
I'm really
Nowhere near our house.
I'm really hoping that this is the thing that breaks us through to the next level of fame, because people who are hot air and balloon enthusiasts should be DMing us on Instagram and emailing us at schnozzcast@gmail.com to tell us how fucking wrong you are and how there's way more science and skill involved in steering a hot air balloon than just at the whims of the wind.
And you know what I will tell them? They're full of shit. Because, I've seen hot air balloons. There's no way to fucking steer those things.
Yeah.
You can go up and down.
Last call on the
Left and right,
50-50.
though, it does not work.
We're ready to draw.
You're at the mercy of the wind.
You missed the boat.
Okay, so your fear of hot air balloons stems from the fact that you don't know where you're going to come down. It could be in the middle of shark-infested waters. It could be in the middle of a giant field of spikes, like giant iron spikes.
Dude, who knows? We could go up from one right here and end up in Alaska. It could happen.
Alaska's a fine state.
It's a little cold for my liking, but
Oh, that's why you pack ahead of time. You pack
have you seen
pair
the
of gloves?
Have you seen a basket on a hot air balloon? What are you packing?
There's plenty of room in that basket.
You can barely fit 2 people in that basket.
No. You're talking about 1990s or maybe early 2000s air ballooning. Nowadays, air ballooning has improved to the point where you could fit a family of 6 in the basket on a hot air balloon. Internet, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but for the moment, I'm going to just proceed as though I'm correct.
Dude, I'd rather. What was the helium balloon before the Goodyear?
The Hindenburg?
The Hindenburg, yeah. I'd rather be on the Hindenburg than a hot air balloon. I trust that more.
Do you?
Yes.
Okay.
'Cause at least that you can steer.
You trust an airborne vehicle filled with highly flammable gas more than you do the last 95 years of history in which we've had time to improve upon that.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Okay.
I mean, look, we still have the Goodyear blimp. That,
We do,
That,
which
that
has
makes safe travels all
surprisingly not burst into flame over your standard NFL football game.
the time. Which I'm assuming they've made some updates ever since the Hindenburg, but
Are you? Since you used the Hindenburg as your reference.
I'm just saying it probably.
Possibly. Okay.
There's a good chance.
In 95 years, they may have made 1 or 2 improvements.
I mean, Goodyear knows what they're doing.
I mean, to be fair,
Gotta find the button.
To be fair.
to be fair, there are things like the toilet paper roll that have not improved in its design in the last 95 years.
Are you fucking retarded? Yes, it has.
How has it improved? Oh, you're talking about the number of ply, the plies?
Have you ever wiped your ass with Charmin?
Absolutely.
It's beautiful.
Oh, you mean instead of like the World War II ass paper they were
Single
using?
ply where your finger was going up your butthole?
Yeah, but I feel like those are modern choices. Like if you ever stay at a Holiday Inn in 2025, you're still using World War II era single ply
I was gonna say,
ass paper.
Speaking of which, when the
Yeah.
hotels that we stayed at,
Right.
going down to Siesky and coming back up, my butt was bleeding a little bit.
That
after-
doesn't mean that there haven't been improvements. It just means that places like the Holiday Inn or prisons have decided not to take advantage of any of those improvements. They're like, no, we're not
Right,
interested.
Yeah, because it could
One ply is good
It
enough.
costs too much.
Right.
So
But there've always been like the multiple plies, like the Charmin level experience with toilet paper. I feel like has existed for a long, long time.
nope. I will disagree with you there,
All
sir.
right, again, internet, prove us wrong. Perhaps maybe we should change the name of our podcast to Internet Prove Us Wrong and just start spouting all sorts of crazy crackpot theories and daring the internet to prove us wrong.
Just like how JFK was killed by Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah. It's 50-50?
Thank you, though.
Call my number on 50-50, for God's sake. What is that now? They're doing 80-20? What are we doing
for
now?
cars? Oh,
Oh,
no, we're good.
I'm all spent out. Thanks, Terry Scooble. Anyway, what were we talking about? Ass paper?
It's no longer toilet paper. It's ass paper.
It's always been ass paper.
Yeah. No,
Back in the day back in World War II, when not everyone had a toilet, it was just ass paper. A lot of people had to go out in the backyard to a hole in the ground.
to the outhouse.
Yeah. They didn't call it outhouse paper. They called it ass paper.
Are you sure?
Internet, prove me wrong.
We're gonna have to come up with brand new stickers and wristbands and
Listen,
artwork.
we're already almost out of the wristbands and the stickers anyway. If we're going to have to get more, then...
we have plenty of stickers left.
Yeah, but we'll just take those and I'll get a Sharpie right. Formerly known as Schnozzcast, now the Internet Prove Me Wrong show.
Just for reference, everyone. Bob's gonna write that on that sticker.
Yeah, I have great penmanship. It'll fit. All right, so that covered hot air balloons. Thanks, Cory.
Yeah. No, thank you.
We talked about acting a lot. I'm not sure I want to go back to that. Oh, here's one. Ready?
As ready as I
This
can
one's
be.
4 words, not 3.
Okay.
Okay. And I think we did well with the hot air balloons segment. So we'll throw this out there to Cory and to the audience. Ready?
Ready as I can be.
Plastic surgery for celebrities. Discuss.
It depends on. I mean, there's some celebrities out there that have it and they look phenomenal, and there's other ones that have it.
Which ones are those, in your opinion?
Dude, as far as
Yeah. Successful celebrity plastic surgery.
successful. Well, see, that's the thing though. It's kind of hard to
Like
gauge
money
that.
well spent.
It's hard to gauge that because if it's done well, you shouldn't really be able to recognize it.
Oh, you're saying the best plastic surgery is the plastic surgery that doesn't look like plastic surgery.
Correct.
Okay.
But like I'm trying to think of some actors or actresses that have like really met. What's her name? From American Pie.
Oh, Shannon Elizabeth?
Nope. The other one, the blonde girl.
Oh, Tara Reid.
Tara Reid, yes.
Yeah. She was Bunny in The Big Lebowski.
Yes.
Yeah.
And back then she looked normal and fine.
Yeah. Normal and fine.
And today she looks horrendous because she has had so much plastic surgery.
I will admit I don't remember what she looks like today. I'm going to have to Google that.
Please do, because it's not good. Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Another person that overdid the plastic surgery.
So maybe we're really only equipped to talk about those celebrities who've had what we might term to be unsuccessful plastic surgery.
I would say so, because again, if you had plastic surgery and it doesn't look, you can't tell a difference. Like Jennifer Aniston, for example. I feel like I can't say if she has or hasn't had any plastic surgery,
But maybe that's your point.
but she looks amazing.
Because you can't say that's how good it was.
Right.
Whether she had it or didn't.
Yeah.
Like, either she had it and you can't even tell, or she's just aged very, very gracefully and with the help of diet and exercise and
I have
skincare regimen.
$1,000,000 to just work out every day. And
You know, that's the thing that they talk about with actors all the time is, oh, they look so good. I'm like, yeah, but they have no day job. Like, they take an acting job for like 3 months and then they have another 3 months off to do nothing, and then they hire personal trainers.
yeah, if I had a personal chef and a personal trainer to take care of my meals every day and to get me up out of bed and be like, hey, this is the workout we're doing today.
Right.
And that's all or the
Turkish
Rock,
squats
The Rock
every day
The Rock,
for
for
3
example,
months.
which clearly the Rock is definitely on steroids of some sort. But I'm not discounting the work he puts
I'm
in.
not sure.
Oh, he's definitely. Dude, come on.
But he's Samoan.
Okay.
What's the motherfucker going to do? He's Samoan.
I've seen plenty of Samoans that are fat as shit.
But maybe they just never put the work in. Like the Rock
No,
is. Like the
no.
Rock.
That's.
Like the Rock is put. They're just lazier than the Rock.
I mean, maybe you have a point. But I'm saying like someone like The Rock that when you when you can go around and do movie shoots all across the world,
Yeah.
and you have 3 semi-trucks following you around with a group of guys that set up your own personal gym.
The Iron, what do they call it? Iron Paradise.
Yeah.
He calls it.
And that's no matter where you're at, you know you have your own personal gym.
Yeah.
I'd be in great shape myself.
I for a long time there, and I think I still follow him, but I don't know that maybe I don't because I haven't seen it in a long time. But The Rock used to do like every Sunday was his cheat meal. Like he would work his fucking ass off for 6 days a week.
Oh, and then when he would eat 14 double dough pizzas.
Or he would have a stack of pancakes that was literally the size of this table, and they were the most. He like a personal chef who came up with their own recipe for his. He's like, these are Chef Annabelle's coconut pecan pancakes, and they looked. I remember watching them, and at one point he had the chef on, like walking through the recipe, like, "Oh, we're gonna show Chef Annabelle making these pancakes," and I was like,
Yeah.
"Those are the most amazing pancakes I've ever seen in my entire life. I want to have 45 of them right now." But The Rock had already worked out for 6 days with no break, harder than most NFL football players work out during the regular season, and it was taking this one day to have one meal that was just fucking bonkers insane. And it was filled with, like, he would take 2 large pizzas and like sprinkle it with double fucking quadruple cheese, and then fold them together and then eat them like a sandwich.
Yeah. If you can sit down on your own and eat 2 extra large pizzas.
Yeah.
Buddy, let me tell you, when I went to go to the house to grab all the stuff that I forgot and picked up Danielle, she wanted a Coke from McDonald's. We got there at 10:59, and I'm usually never up early enough to get McDonald's breakfast. So I was like, "Oh, what time is breakfast then?" She's like, 11. I'm like, "Oh." I'm like, "Are you saying that there's a chance I could get
shit. The one time in 4 years I've ever been up for breakfast.
that I could get McDonald's breakfast?"
Yeah.
And we pulled up, and sure enough, they still had the breakfast menu up. So I was like, "Let me get
What'd you get?
a sausage McGriddle."
And you got it.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't believe, because other than Joe getting him for us while we're up in Tawas.
That's about the only time I have.
That's the only
yeah.
time, right. Okay.
So I had about half of it on the way here, and I was like, "Oh." Okay,
I feel so sick.
I'm done. I'm done. I can't do any more of this.
But The Rock is probably 5 times larger than you. Taller and bigger and...
I'm about as tall as he is.
Fuck.
His waist might.
Fuck you in the mouth.
His waist.
There's no way.
His waist might be a little bigger.
His waist circumference is your height. Period.
I'll disagree with you
End
there.
of discussion.
I'll disagree with you there.
He's a big dude. Hi, how are you?
He is, but again.
Would you like a sticker?
You want a sticker? Schnozzcast sticker?
We're doing a podcast.
You want a small one or a big one?
Look at that.
There you go.
Thank you.
Check us out on YouTube.
Or
Yep.
anywhere where you get a podcast. Anywhere. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. The difficult part of walking through a car show in an Elks is that we didn't really give away a lot of wristbands because very few people know what a podcast is.
That's an older crowd.
Bit of an older crowd. Cory would say, like, yeah, we're doing a podcast. They'd be like, a what? And I'm like, just tell them it's an old-time radio show. Like The Shadow Knows, or what was the one with from
You're asking the wrong person, buddy.
Christmas Story, where they're like, drink your Ovaltine, Little Orphan Annie.
Or Orphan Annie, yeah.
Like Little Orphan Annie when you were a kid. That's what we should have said.
We're broadcasting on 12...
Oh, you're doing a modern version of Little Orphan Annie? Yes, we are.
We're broadcasting on 12:30
Would you like
a.m.
a wristband? Also, if Little Orphan Annie drank Fireball, that's what we'd be doing. Speaking of Fireball,
Fuck that Ovaltine.
it's time for another shot. I feel like we're probably hour and a half into this episode.
Hour 40.
Woo! Cheers, everybody. Happy Sunday,
Happy
the
car-
Lord's Day.
Happy.
Oh, I see. They're gambling on sex over there. Here's the gambling on sex at the Elks in Warren, Michigan. I'm not sure why in the last 15 minutes I decided to make this episode completely untenable for the Elks Club.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Yeah.
That was a joke by Bob.
These are all jokes. Elders of the Elks Club in Warren, Michigan, especially the Grand Poobah.
Jim's still over there working hard.
Or hardly working, as they say. All right. Cory, I can. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Thankfully, the sun is out now.
It's a gorgeous day.
It's turning
It's got to
out.
be up to at least 73.
Good call, sir. Good call. On the nose.
Now, I will mention this, although there's nothing we can really say about this right now, but remember when it's
Yes.
probably maybe episode 200. It was
That's
you and
going-
me,
it's going way
you and
back.
I and Todd and Nick doing the show,
Okay.
and we were feeling good about things, but there were a couple of times over the course of like a year, maybe like 6 months apart, where as a group we decided that we needed to change things up.
Okay.
You know, someone would suggest something, whether it was you or me or Todd or Nick. Why don't we look into doing this? And we would, together as a group, agree that, hey, change is good. Anything to try to get to the next level. Like we have to be willing to change in order to improve. We must evolve, right? Shed the past skin, the snake skin of our past episodes, and be born anew as a new thing. Whether it was a radical change or a slight change, we'll do that. What I wrote down was, and it was probably because of your wife, I wrote down, what about a Taylor's version of one of our first few episodes?
Calendar.
What's up, Jim?
Remember Friday we're talking about doing a calendar for the car show?
Oh, we were.
Hey, Jim, in the middle of a podcast, great time to bring that up. Anyway, Cory.
Where's your Speedo?
I got mine in the truck. I gotta go change.
I just got to take my shorts off.
I'm going to pretend like I didn't hear any of that. Cory, what about a Taylor's version of one of our first few episodes?
I'm sorry. A Taylor's version?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So I'm sure Danielle could express this a lot clearer than I could, but Taylor Swift,
Okay, so it is Taylor Swift. That's what I was
huge.
wondering.
Danielle is one of the biggest Taylor Swift fans that I know, your wife.
Yes.
And for the longest time, Taylor Swift was beside herself because
She didn't
her
own,
sworn
she
enemy,
didn't own a lot of her own music.
right?
Yes.
Her sworn enemy in music, whose name escapes me. He was a producer with Jack Antonoff or something like that. I'm sure I don't have it right.
No, it's
Big time music producer. Some music company bought her original catalog, and then, unbeknownst to her, they then turned around and sold it to a producer whose name escapes me, who she really hated. Like they were not friends, and it really bothered her. So she decided that since she couldn't get them back, like she tried legally to get them back, and it was like years, and she couldn't do it. She's like, you know what? I'm just gonna re-record all those songs, and I'm gonna call them Taylor's version. So if she didn't own the first 5 albums of her catalog, she's like, I'm gonna take the next several years, and in between doing new albums, I'm just gonna record a new version of the entire album and release it, going like, okay, here's the exact first album I put out, but this is Taylor's version. This is the one I've just re-recorded, and I want this to be the definitive version. and all of my real fans will know, fuck that older version, because my sworn enemy owns it now. Don't listen to that. Listen to this one.
So, yes, and I don't know if this is where you were going with it,
Yeah.
but she did just buy back the last, 3 albums that she didn't own.
She spent like
$3 million.
hundreds of, no, not $3 million, like $393 million.
No.
Yep. It was absolutely in the hundreds of millions of dollars that she spent. There's no way she got her catalog back for $3 million. There's no fucking way. All right,
Danielle
we're going to take this
knows.
offline because Danielle's not going to come on the show.
No, but yeah,
All right.
it was like $3.5 million.
There's no fucking way. But okay, so she did buy back her own catalog, and for Swifties everywhere, that was a huge victory because they look out for Taylor Swift.
Right.
And they want her to be happy, and she was so excited that she had gotten her catalog back. She owns all of her own music now. That Swifties everywhere were over the moon. When I wrote this down, I don't even know when this was. My thought was, so we've done 332 episodes, right? The first 10 episodes of this podcast were nigh unlistenable because they were 3 hours in length, and we didn't have any planned segments. We just talked about whatever we wanted. We got absolutely shit-faced.
And we were just recording on your laptop.
And the audio quality was garbage. So I thought, based on what Taylor Swift was doing,
We buy our own stuff back?
why don't we...
All right, I'll give you $50. You give me $50. We'll call it even.
Explain. Maybe they get it. I don't understand what you're talking about.
I'm buying the first 10 episodes back from you. You buy it back from me. We cut Joe and Nick out of the entire equation.
No. The equivalent would be like if...
Oh, we should get $50 from them, too.
Yes, and then you sell it to whoever the sworn enemy of all of us are. I'm sure there's a sergeant somewhere that you work with that you fucking hate.
There's plenty of people I can
Yes,
sell.
right. We've been to enough parties where you're like, oh, that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Then you sold it to that guy. And so that guy now owns our first 10 episodes. That's the equivalent of what I'm talking about. But the Taylor's version, this is like, okay, so episodes 2 through 10 of our podcast were unlistenable. Like, we would not,
Why didn't you include one in there?
because it was unlistenable for a different reason.
Okay.
But the genesis of this podcast really started in episode 2 or maybe 3. And so it just wasn't good because we didn't know what we were doing. We were starting out. Like, what if we took that episode and really examined all the things we talked about, and then as a modern group of, like, now we've had 300 plus episodes of experience, take the subject matter and re-record it and do our version of that as a modern...
Now that we know what we're kind of doing.
Now that we kind of know what we're doing, we know how to talk, we know how to pass it back and forth.
We have better technology.
Better technology. We sound better. We're smarter. That was the impetus behind this comment in my notes. And now that I'm speaking it, I'm looking in your face and I can see that you're like, holy shit, you may be onto something there. It might be worth some follow-on discussion.
It's not a bad idea, but the three of us would have to go back and listen to, and Todd wasn't around for those.
No, you're right. He wasn't. But we would have to just get a general sense of, like, a laundry list of topics, like 1 through 10, or like let's assume there were 10. Who knows how many fucking topics we ping pong back and forth on a 3-hour podcast in which we all got fucked up. What could we do about just getting a laundry list of, like, talking points and then plan out, like, how would we do this today? That's exactly what I meant. And I feel like I'm glad I brought it up now, because now I'm not the only one who feels like maybe that's an idea worth considering.
I mean, I'm not against it. That's for sure. Like I said, we all three of us would just have to listen to those episodes.
It's a good day, ladies and gentlemen. What else do I have in here that's oh, this is directly 3-0 Tigers? 4-0 Tigers? Tigers up against Cubs. What inning? What inning, Danielle? What inning? Bottom of the 5th. Tigers 4-0 against the Cubs. Love it. God, the Tigers have been on fire. I absolutely want to go to the game with you guys.
So while we were on break, I was talking to Danielle about that.
Yeah, your better half.
She said that Taylor and Mike are in. They want to go as well. She's waiting on a response back from Katie. So we could have a nice little group going down.
Yeah, I would love it.
Hey, get some tailgating in before and
Yeah.
head to the ballpark.
What are we at now? 150? Hour 50?
Yes.
God damn, I'm good. Let's do one more shot. And while you're doing that shot, ladies and gentlemen, pour yourself one. You do us a solid if it was Fireball, but we really don't care. Like, if you're doing some actual good whiskey, like if you were doing a shot of Blanton's, first of all, don't ever do a shot of Blanton's. Put it in a nice rocks glass over a giant cube of ice and sip it as though your life depended on it.
Speaking of which, I should have put that in the cooler.
Yeah. Well, this wasn't the cooler, but you filled it from the... Anyway. All right. Cheers, everybody.
Yeah, be careful with that. Yeah, let me toss
It's
that.
not great.
No, let me toss that back in the...
Yep. Oh. All right. So I promise that in the next episode... in our next production meeting, before we do the next episode... Oh, my God.
I told you it was not good. I should have put that in the cooler a long time ago.
Dude.
Got it? Get it down, buddy. Get it down.
It's already down. It's like you're trying to worm its way back up through my esophagus.
That's what I kind of figured.
through my esophagus. Right up through the esophagus.
don't puke all over
It might be
everything.
canker. Could be benign or it could be malignant. Let's hope it's benign. All right, I commit to bringing this up to Todd Dillon in the next episode about the Taylor's version of our podcast. But
Yeah,
this
I
one
see.
in particular applies to Cory. And this might have been around about the time where young Cory Selesky was trying to game plan his nuptials, his engagement to Danielle. And it was a heavily planned event that happened up in Tawas, as frequent listeners of the podcast will attest. We go up to Tawas every summer.
The first raffle, and they told it is who moves it belong to. Marty
got a raffle going on.
Marty
You didn't go in the raffle, did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Marty.
So
Marty. More you drink, Marty.
when Cory asked Danielle to marry him,
Marty, where are you?
we were up in Tawas. It was a special trip. It was a year in which all of us knew that's what he was planning, except for Danielle, obviously. But it was the where and the when. Like, we were up there for 6 days, maybe 7,
Yeah.
and he had a very specific plan that he told us about ahead of time. Does Danielle know about this?
First
Have
Did
you
I
ever
plan
talked to
all
her?
this out?
No. Yeah. Has he ever talked to her about the plan?
Has he ever talked to her?
No.
about it?
Have you ever talked to her about this plan?
Yeah, I think the day it happened, we went back to the beach, and
And you talked about all the work that you did.
you, Nick, and Lori, I think that was the day you guys went to dinner,
Yeah.
and we were like, no, we just want to go back to the beach and hang out, and
Yeah.
the 3 of us got pizza. You guys went to dinner,
Right.
and I had worked on for like 6 months. I typed up like a
It's either GW
13-page
or
letter to her.
Yeah. Not your wedding vows, but a declaration of love.
Just a letter saying everything that I thought and felt over all the years. And so I gave that to her on the beach when we got back.
Be my Yoko Ono, Danielle.
Yes.
Be my Yoko Ono. 13 pages of that.
And so it was just the three of us sitting there. I think I told her then that, like, yeah, well, because again, to back up a little bit, it was actually on her birthday.
Yes, it was.
And,
That's right.
And me, you, and Nick had stayed up the night before, way too late.
Was it Nick that almost gave it away?
Yeah, because we were talking literally right outside the room that we were staying in. And I'm like, dude, why are we standing right here talking about it? I'm like, we need to move.
Talking
like,
about the plans for the next day, right outside
the window of where Danielle was sleeping. And I'm like, dude, like, he's like, no, it's fine. I'm like, no, it's not fine.
It's not fine.
These are my plans, not yours.
Yeah.
But yeah, we stayed up way too late. Of course, we were obviously drinking a little bit.
Yep.
And so
Of course.
the next day, Danielle got up on her birthday, and I was not waking up right away because I was a little hungover. And so
for no reason in particular.
So she had gone down to the beach by herself.
Yeah.
On her birthday.
This fucking guy. I gotta go down here by myself. Oh God, I hate Cory.
And then I did finally wake up and came out, and she was. She took it like a champ. She was. I could tell she was upset just because I've known her for so long.
Yeah, and it was her birthday, and you're like, oh, I've overslept, and I was too drunk to wake up and go down to the beach with you on your birthday. And she was trying to keep it together, but you could tell she was not happy.
Oh, definitely. There was.
Yeah.
I could see the eyes watering.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm like, the only way to make this better right now, babe, let's go down to the pier. We can get our picture that we get every year. I said, the guys and Lori are going to come with us.
Nothing special. Nothing to see here.
Let's go down there and get our yearly picture.
Right.
And so that's when we went down to the pier. And that was the longest walk of my entire life.
Why?
Because I was nervous. I didn't know. I knew everything was already in motion.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if once we get down there, because again, I don't know if you remember now. I told her, I'm like, I got to line the GoPro up to get the picture. So turn around and face the water.
Yeah.
And I'll line up the photo. And she's like, why do I have to turn around? I was like,
shut the fuck up. Just do what I said.
I'm like, because.
If we were married, you'd do what I said.
I'm like, because I want to get a different picture. I said, I want to get a picture of us facing the water rather than us looking at the camera. And she was like, okay. And so she did that. And then for some reason, not for some reason, because I was so nervous, I turned around and I looked at you guys.
You should have hid the last time because
That's
they're
good.
going to try to steal your shit.
I turned around and looked at you guys, and I was like, just talk amongst yourselves. Why I had to say that, I don't know.
I don't know either.
And so Danielle stood there and looked out at the water, and I had the GoPro all set up. And that's when I got down on a knee, and I told her to turn around.
Hey, Dom, can I buy some of that red steak?
Of course, there was waterworks and all that afterwards.
For a friend.
But the one thing she did say, after I told her that, that's why we were up so late last night, because we were talking about all this and trying to get it planned out.
That's why Nick was spoiling it outside your room.
Which, thank God, she did not hear a single thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's like, I thought everything was okay until I told you guys to talk amongst yourselves. Yeah. She's like, that's when I was like, wait, what's going on?
Yeah.
All right.
This is crazy.
And I'm like, yeah. She's like, because I was like, why would you tell your friends to talk amongst themselves when they can easily do so on their own?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, no, it all worked out, and it was one of the most memorable times of my life.
So the note that I have in my notes was right around that time where you had asked her to marry you.
Next one.
We're coming through with the plans, and we're going to follow through on it as a group. Let's just say.
That's worth red steak by itself. All right, next
My
one.
note says
Coming your way.
the Selesky report:
Congratulations. Here's a red
marriage, fatherhood. Now, I remember right after you asked her to marry you that I was sure that on the podcast you would be absolutely down to do your own segment called the Selesky Report, which would be a chronicle of your activities and your experiences as a newly married person and possibly potential father, should babies come, and that was my goal for this segment, was the Zaleski report, and I tried to sell it to the group, and no one
wants to hear about our lives.
No, forget about you. No one else at all was interested. Like Nick, Todd, like nobody cared.
Of course not.
And I was like, oh, this beautiful union has occurred, and it needs to be documented at some point. Like this needs to be a diary of Cory and Danielle's fantastic experiences as a newly engaged couple, and one that is now like going through the first, stages of marriage that are so amazing and interesting to people who've been married or about to be married. And let's follow that through to the logical end. And no one was interested. And that's the part that I think killed it, because I didn't even press it with you. Like, dude, are you interested in this? Like, if your friends, Todd and Nick, were not interested in hearing what happened in a regular report, I'm like, okay, I don't need to push this with Cory anymore, because even his co-hosts are like, I'm not interested in hearing about that.
First and foremost, that was obviously, you said when Nick was on the show.
Yeah.
You know as well as I do, Nick did not want to hear about anyone else but himself.
That's not true. Nick, I think Nick.
Sorry, not to cut you off, but
sure,
not saying that in a bad way. That's just how Nick is, and he is self-aware, which I give him credit for.
I think that Nick is totally fine with stuff like that if he can find a way into the story. If the way in is for him to tease you about it,
right? So okay, but
to make fun of the situation, he's all about it.
So that's where it stops and starts at. It would only start at the engagement, because he was there,
right,
and he was part of it. We discussed it all night until 4 a.m. And then it kind of stops after that until it goes to the wedding, because he was part of the wedding,
right.
And then after that's all he would care about.
You might be right. That might be where it died. You might be right.
That's the only two parts of our relationship.
I only know that the reason this died was not because you said, I'm not interested.
Beautiful day today.
I said that?
No, you didn't say anything. Like, it didn't die because Cory Slesky said,
Gotcha.
I'm not interested in documenting my my married life as a newlywed or as a about to be newlywed. It was legitimately because your co-hosts were not interested in hearing about it.
Yeah. Oh, I get that. I understand that.
And I don't get it. I respect it, but I'm like, okay. All right, we're getting the hook from outside. What? Yes, we do. We're almost done. We're getting the hook from the outside. So, Cory,
Bob,
we're gonna wrap this up.
All right, buddy.
On behalf of me and Cory and Todd
and the Elks Lodge 2292 in Warren, Michigan.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for the car show on such a again, it turned out to be
a beautiful day.
Beautiful day. So we're going to go enjoy the rest of this beautiful day.
100%.
Hang out for a little bit. Enjoy the cars, enjoy the people. And
the peoples.
The peoples. And we'll see you on the next episode.
We love you guys. Meet us back here next weekend for the next episode. Peace out.